Warning, do not watch this show if you are a fanboy of AEW. Warning, do not watch this show if you're a fanboy of AEW. Now, if you like AEW and are open to possible changes of AEW, then I suggest you watch it. You ready? Let's go. Hi, welcome to the Shaun Show. I am Shaun. I am your esteemed host. And we're here to talk about AEW. Now, the thing is about AEW, I did not want to speak about it so soon, so quickly, because it hasn't really been around for that long. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to take my time to absorb it, to look at it from a perspective of somebody who has never seen a show such as this. And it wasn't that hard to do that because, quite frankly, like a lot of these guys are indie guys, I haven't really followed them. So I'm looking at this with like brand new eyes, with a brand new perspective. And I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, okay, let me watch this show and see exactly what they bring to the table that would make me, as a wrestling fan, tune in week after week after week. So without further ado, here are the things I dislike about AEW. Number one, the thing I dislike about AEW. Now, this has nothing to do with the wrestling. This has to do with the media and presentation. Look, I absolutely, positively hate when people talk so much smack. So much smack. You see my eyes are closed. That's how passionate I am about it. So much smack, but can't back it up. And what do you mean by that? Well, AEW's been backing it up and they've been doing it. Listen, it's not about backing it up in terms of like, fighting, but it's about backing it up in terms of showing exactly, there's something right here. You guys didn't tell me. It's about showing exactly why you're so different from the competition, showing exactly why you're number one. I'm the type of person, I want to see it, I don't want you to say it, and they've been saying a lot. Every time they have an opportunity, they're taking a shot at the WWE. And I know that you're saying, well, the WWE takes shots at them, that's great, but the thing is this. When something happens on WWE television, they ask AEW superstar Chris Jericho about it, and Chris Jericho will say, well, I would push Roman Reigns this way. Well, you got a wrestler by the name of Walter. That's a horrible name. Well, I thought the CM Punk thing was very, very lackluster. But on the flip side, when you ask people about AEW on the WWE side, they give a very corporate response. And I think a corporate response is the best way to respond to these people. You have to build up a fan base. Now, you have a very solid fan base of, let's say, maybe 1 million people. But somebody that's like me, that's never seen you guys before wrestle, and I know a few of these guys, I've seen a few of their matches, but I don't follow them. And like, somebody that's a super duper fan of the indies or wrestling overseas. So if I'm just somebody that's coming to the table for the very first time and I see this, then this is going to be a situation where I say, well, it was okay. And that's the thing you have to understand. I'm not speaking from a perspective of a fan that watches these guys. I can't stress that enough. I'm speaking from somebody that just tunes in and watches it. There's not enough. Well, let's go into my second point, but let's go back to the media and presentation. Like I said, I don't like the talking in the media. I'd rather you be about it than say something about it. And in terms of the presentation, I think the presentation is very WCW-esque. ECW had its own feel and look. TNA had its own feel and look. AEW really feels like WCW in terms of the look, the fireworks, everything. So that is the thing number one that I don't like about AEW. Number two, what don't I dislike about, I shouldn't have worded it that way, Freudian slip, right? What is it that I dislike about AEW? Well, I say the second thing I dislike is the style of wrestling. I am one of those guys that like the old school storytelling, and I do understand that you have to pepper in some new type of wrestling and matches. You have hardcore matches with cruiserweight matches, with the old school storytelling matches, but it seems like their card is filled with nothing but new school matches. I like to see a match where people, you know, and not just one match, because you can argue that Cody Rhodes does that. You can argue that Jon Moxley in some matches does that. You can argue that Kenny Omega does it. But the thing is there's so many spots in a match. I don't know if these guys can be hurt. You know, I flip on your head, and he flips on your head, and he jumps you, and he does it. Who wins? Like, it's not who wins, it's like who survives. I just really would like some more storytelling, more, you know, matches that build up to a crescendo, not just right out the gate, high spot, high spot, high spot, and then the rest of the match, high spot, high spot, high spot. That's just not my cup of tea. I just would like more storytelling for people, you know, like me to get into it. Because what happens if I'm looking through the eyes of a fan who is casual and I see all these flipping and jumping and crazy maneuvers and all of that, then I'm going to say the dreaded word that wrestling fans hate to hear people say: that's fake. Oh, that's so fake. You see how he just jumped on his head and he was halfway dead and then he just jumped up. Oh, that's fake. Oh, this is fake, fake, fake. You got to bring in the people, and I know that they're not going for that, but to survive as a company, you have to do things that's going to be able to appeal to all fans, not just you in the back, not just you and your homeboys that wrestle, but something that's going to appeal to all fans. So the second thing I dislike about AEW is that the matches have too many high spots. Sorry. Number 3, the final thing that I dislike about AEW is the fact that there is no character development. Now, I know people will say, well, what are you talking about? They have backstage segments and they watch YouTube. And if you watch YouTube, they have their show, and you watch AEW Dark and they have... Listen, me as a wrestling fan, right? Or just an average Joe, like, I don't have the time to watch all of the different forms of media that AEW has. I cannot watch Cody Rhodes' YouTube channel. I cannot watch the Young Bucks YouTube channel. I cannot watch AEW Dark. But I can commit to tuning in every Wednesday and watching AEW, right? So if I make that commitment, I like to see some character development in the ring. In the ring. Now, Jericho's pushing this inner circle thing, and that's great. But Jericho's great at getting Jericho over. I've never seen Jericho in a setting where he's the head of a stable. I think that he needs to do more to get these other guys over, rather than just talking about these other guys. Let these other guys talk for themselves. Now, we kind of did that when they had the Jericho Thanksgiving spectacular thing, and LAX said some funny things. I thought that was really good. But we need to see more of that. And we need to see it from a perspective of not being a funny character, a face. LAX is supposed to be some hardcore gangsters, but we're giving away Vicks Vapor Rub. That's a very good pop for people who are, I don't know, looking to get good face heat. But in terms of somebody that's getting good heel heat, that's not something that I think that we should do moving forward if I'm AEW. So, again, these are the things I dislike about AEW, but trust me, there are things that I do like, so stay tuned for that video. And like everything, like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time here on The Shaun Show. Take care.